look into it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I'm just giving him, I just sent him a template for starters, but told him I would have a meeting with him.
Yeah.
It's just, I think he's just trying to prepare for next year as he goes about gathering it. I haven't asked him that yet, what it's for.
Because we tired. We don't have anything.
No, well.
I like woke up and
Well, we should probably invite him.
All right.
They're
Don't have LCA TV here.
Oh.
They're not here today because they were shortage on manpower and they couldn't get anybody up here.
Excuse me.
Well, then I suppose if we are recording,
We're ready when you are.
then let's call this January 8th meeting of the Georgia Select Board to order. Happy New Year's, everybody. And if you will please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Flag is over there.
Turn it around.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hold on, my outline keeps on resetting on me. It's extremely annoying. As far as the chair update goes, Shannon and I are still waiting for the school board to respond to our request to talk about a DEI statement, and that will be incoming on the 22nd. And we'll meet together and hash that out. Do we have any additions, deletions, or changes to the agenda this evening that we would like to make? I know that you said that there was a request from the fire department, Dawn. And so do we have anything else?
What's the request in your hand?
Yes, Cheryl, was that?
You're on mute though, Cheryl. You're on mute.
How's that?
There we go.
We have an addition for the firefighter. We have a purchase of some filing cabinets through the state surplus that I'd like to see if the board will approve. And then we'll have a personnel issue to add to executive session.
All right, and so if we do we have any other additions to the agenda that folks would like to make? So that sounds like 2 items to the irregular agenda. What was exactly was the fire department asking us to consider?
Approve a application for a new
Okay.
firefighter.
Application of approval of of an application for a new fighter that would go under item number. Yeah, that would be E. As well as the purchase of file cabinets under item F. And we'll be adding to executive session a you said that was an employee personnel issue? A personnel issue.
Yes.
Would anybody be willing to make a motion to add those items to the agenda? So moved. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, do we need any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, those items have been added. And so not seeing any other items to add or to delete, let us move into public comments. And so if anybody has any comments that they would like to make before the select board, please feel free to do so. Carolyn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is it all right if I speak from here?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. My name is Carolyn Flanagan. I'm the state representative here in Georgia. I took the seat that Carl held. So yes, Happy New Year. Glad to see all of you. And with the new year, the legislative session started. It always starts the first Tuesday or Wednesday after the new year, and then we run through about the middle of May. And We had pretty good attendance. A few people are out with COVID, but everyone's very careful about that. And, but it doesn't seem to be spreading around, unlike last year when it spread around like crazy. But anyway, we're fine this year. Two important things happened in the first week. One, the governor gave his State of the State address. The bottom line there is that money is not what it used to be. And, the budget is going to be tight. He's asked his administrators to think of a 2.5% to 3% increase, which just about covers salary or not even. The other thing was, you may have heard at the very end of the year last year, we passed through the bottle bill, the upgrade of the statewide bottle bill. It was 50 years old. This is a rewrite of the bottle bill. And it passed quite strongly out of the House and Senate, but the governor vetoed it. So it came back, that went through the House, and the House chose to override the veto. So now the whole thing is in the Senate. We're waiting for their action. I know I don't have very long, Mr. Chairman, but I want to remind you that I am available for you. My job is to represent the people of the town of Georgia and Fairfax, and I want to do the best job I can. I appreciate the fact that you guys were easy on me last year. I didn't feel good for most of the year, but I'm better now. In fact, the doctors say I think I've beat it, the whole thing. Women will get breast cancer in their lives, so remind your women in your family, your mother, your sisters, your wives, whoever, they've got to get out there once a year and get them in. That's the best way to catch that. So I'll stop there. I want you to know I am at your service. Please let me know if there's anything I need to know. My email address is in with all the other legislators. It's cbranigan@the State House address, state.ut.us. We forgot one, but anyway, it's in there. It's on the phone.
Carl,
May I ask our representative a question?
yeah, I was actually thinking we had a few questions for you at our last budget meeting.
Mine, I've been at a couple of gatherings where people are very concerned about what they're reading about the possible 18% hike in the education tax. So is there anything to report to us, or is that seem realistic or not?
Things about that, Carl. The 18% is a guess. So remember that tax letter that goes out from the Department of Taxes, it goes out every year. It's a best guess estimate. And so it's not set in stone. It probably, the increase probably will be much less than that. I mean, it's much less, yeah.
It's sort of scary. I know the governor
It's very scary. We
has
can't
brought it
afford
up
that.
in the conversation also, but.
Yep. The town of Georgia can't afford that. But I'm thinking somewhere between 10 and 12%. It will go up because of insurance, the increase in insurance. And what other factors are contributing to that, I think the school board knows better than I do, so they're best. And
Thank
is there another question?
No, I think Devin might.
No, I think you were the one that had the question last time. It might have been about the childcare.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But regardless, Carolyn, thank you so much for taking a lot. We know a lot of time goes into being a state rep, and so thank you for
I
doing
love
that
it.
for
I love my job.
our.
And I want to do a good job at it. So in order to do a good job, you have to let me know what's going on here and what things I need to pay attention to. So let me know.
All right, thank you.
And I'm gonna go home because I gotta go to Montpelier early on.
Yeah, understood.
So thank you.
Drive safe.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carol.
And thanks for the good news about your health.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
very
everybody
good.
can say me too.
Take care.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night. All right, so a bit of an update from Montpelier. Do we have anybody else who would like to make a comment or share with the community this evening?
We're not doing the approval of minutes and stuff?
That's next.
Oh, sorry.
All right, so not seeing that, let's move on to the warrants and the approval of the minutes for 12/27. Does anybody have any additions or deletions that they would like to make for the minutes on the
I move
27th.
approval of the meeting of 12/27/23 with several corrections or suggestions for correction.
Do we have a second for
I'll
discussion?
second that.
All right, does anybody have anything that they would like to point out?
Yeah, I would like to point out that on line 43, I wasn't quite sure. It says the ordinance is by, I figure it means statute, not state, but am I correct on
And that
that?
would be a good correction to make.
Yeah. And the ordinance, I take it that means the animal ordinance itself, the cattle ordinance, okay, it's by state statute.
Were we talking about any other ordinance or it was just the animal one?
No, there's several ordinances,
Yeah.
right, but this was the one, I was just making a correction on, because it's saying the ordinance is by statute, we were talking about the
The
animal.
animal
okay.
ordinance.
Were we talking about the reason why we bumped it, or the reason why we put it on the back burner?
Well,
Because
basically-
I believe we did that several sessions ago.
Right,
Okay,
what had happened, we have a dog ordinance, okay?
Right.
At the present time, and there was concerns raised about cattle on our roadways and
Yeah.
things like that. The board said that they would address it by trying to come up with an ordinance that included that. And that's essentially what somebody has tried to do here with putting some of the animal ordinance into our dog ordinance, so it'd be more localized. But the thing is, it is all state statute, so I think some
Yeah.
people would probably say, why do we put it in our ordinance? Because it looks a little confusing. I mean, it looks.
that was the,
It
that
looks like it's
was,
been jammed together. Okay, that's,
the observation, yes.
so I'm just, again, I'm right now just correcting minutes, but we might want to come back to
Yeah,
that issue when
I
we talk
agree.
about the ordinance. Okay, all right. So second correction, that was to correct the state to statute. Okay.
Okay.
Then under B, legal trail number 4, I wrote what I considered a correction to it, because this isn't what I think I said. So I'm saying I would like to replace that paragraph saying, C. Rosenquist makes a motion to send a letter to Pergo informing them that we grant them permission to bring in additional fill to add cover over their pipes buried under Trail 4. Nick Martin seconds, all in favor, motion carried. That's what I'd like to replace that paragraph with.
Okay,
I'll give that.
are you, do you?
It's not up to me, it's the board's pleasure.
No, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, just think
will
about
that-
it, what wasn't Pergo that informed us about it, it was the Industrial Development Corporation, and that's why I sort of changed it around.
Oh.
Yeah, I was just making sure that, all that was caught in the minutes.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
got it.
then, not that that's a correction of the minutes, but I have prepared the letter I talk about, that I'd appreciate it, Dawn, if somebody can type that up, and I will
In the
review it
morning?
at your, and then have our chair sign it if they think it's appropriate.
Okay,
Do you need it in the morning or do you need it now?
Not now, well, it's not on the agenda really, except for this correction of the minutes right at the moment, okay? All right, so now moving on, sorry for these things here. On page. Yeah, on page, line 98 through 100, it was brought to our attention, a certain member of the community who looks at our minutes very carefully, brought to our attention that it says Nick Martin will amend the motion to have the position start on 12/1. He's indicating it's really, since the prior motion was already accepted, that we can't amend that prior motion. So I guess the way we correct that would be that Nick Martin would make another motion to have that position start on January 1st.
yeah, we can do that.
You want to do that, and that would be the corrected motion.
We can do that once we've,
Somebody pointed out you can't amend a motion after it's approved, okay?
So how do you want me to record that in the minutes?
I would, if the rest of the board agrees, I would just take that out and state his motion as he's gonna state it right now. Or would that not reflect?
I mean, I think that,
Not reflect
I think as
that.
far as the minutes are concerned, that was said, and so it should be recorded. But we can correct it by making a motion once we're done here with the minutes.
Okay,
Are we able to, within the minutes, put a note after that acknowledging that the board realizes this is not possible? I don't know if there's I don't know if that's ever been done before either,
Yeah.
or is the minute simply to carry out a summary of what was said?
pretty much a summary of what's said, but I mean, if something was said incorrectly, it'd probably be, you're right, a parenthetical statement saying, we accordingly and future meeting made the appropriate motions.
Yeah, something to that effect, just in case it's looked upon a year from now, right?
Yeah.
Cheryl, is it okay if I put parentheses in the minutes? And then say, see minutes for this meeting under this section?
Yeah, or put an asterisk or something behind it. Just kind of like a little footnote saying, see meeting minutes of 1/8/2024 for correction.
Yeah, I think local governments are giving quite a bit of leeway on how they take minutes.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
And under category E, I thought we had a little more leeway than that, but it's still 1/12 is the date.
I think the 15th, wasn't it?
The 12th.
This is the note that says all reports have to be in by 1/12.
Oh, reports.
Yeah.
Yeah,
reports
okay.
to the-
Yeah.
Is that correct?
That is
Okay.
correct.
I just wanted to,
Yeah.
That's the one that went out to the department head.
right,
historical.
okay, I
Which
just,
would be this Friday.
I got mine in.
yeah, I know. Okay, almost done, I think, okay. Line 124. Oh, okay, it just was no number to the warrant. The C Rose was calls for motion for payroll. Nick Martins makes a motion to approve payroll warrant. Jamie Constock seconds. All in favor, motion carried, but I don't see any number of warrant there, just,
Yeah.
is there a number for that warrant?
Are we putting numbers on payroll warrants?
There should be a number on it, you get a new one, I mean,
Anyway, just a comment.
Yeah, 'cause it is
Did we
new,
approve a
yeah.
warrant on the 27th? Because I do believe that we had a package of warrants that were brought to our budget meeting.
Yeah, those are
later
just
that week.
budget. I think those are, well,
Those are budget notes.
Well, I know we approved the payroll warrant at
Okay.
that meeting, but
Yeah.
I just didn't see a number associated with it.
Yeah.
And I don't mean the grand total of.
What?
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, you want the warrant
This
number,
number.
yeah.
All right. So those-
Okay,
So those
so,
were my corrections.
thank you,
Okay,
Carl, just so we all know, and we can show Cheryl
yeah,
that that'll be the reference number for these.
payroll
Because,
warrants.
yeah,
All right,
thank you.
okay.
It's a little different
So
than,
Dawn, you
Janet,
can,
can you read that reference number?
yeah,
Could you just,
yeah,
it's not that one, it's the one from the
Oh,
prior
oh,
week, so I'll have to give it
okay.
to you.
okay.
This is the new one, but it does have a number on it, so you guys can.
So when we
thank
are
you.
ready to approve that,
yeah,
Okay.
thanks, April.
thank you.
All right, do you have anything else there, Charles?
Yeah, it's fine, 153 B says Fairfax, I think I should say Fairfax Rescue.
Correct.
Yeah, you're right, definitely. What about other members of the board?
Now-
Harry.
I know there was discussion about gift cards during the warrant
Yes.
discussion,
Mhm.
and I don't see it here. Because I made a comment about they needed to be put through.
Will, thank you, you did take into consideration and share that information.
Yeah.
I don't know,
It's right there in front of you.
okay,
Yeah. But you'd like to see it reflected in
Well,
the
yeah, I
minutes,
It
yes,
was a discussion.
what, yes,
So
so.
I don't know exactly when we had that
So,
discussion.
well, basically, I believe Terry had brought this up at, during the meeting, with regards to the gift cards and wanting to understand if it had been properly addressed tax wise
Yeah,
for the employees.
But I think somebody else brought it
But
up.
Graham brought up the question of what
Right.
it was.
What was
Okay.
the expense?
Yes.
Okay,
And then you said, yes.
Yeah.
so are we able to go back and watch the video and have
Yes,
that reflected in the
definitely
minutes?
can.
I can, but
It was
to,
during
just
the
to cut me
warrants.
down an hours of
Sure.
time, do you not remember what section of
It was
the?
in the warrants.
So somewhere.
During the warrant
During the
time.
Yeah.
warrant.
During the
Yeah,
warrants, okay.
Got it.
And I think it was almost to the end of it, to be
Right.
honest with you.
Okay. So, thank you, yeah, definitely. So the motion is to accept the minutes with the corrections that Carl has stated. All in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Aye. All right. And so we are moving on to the warrant for this evening, which is warrant number 35. Can we have a motion to accept warrant number 35 with any corrections that are needed?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept warrant number 35.
Oh, thank you.
You
Um,
want to sign both of those?
Okay, and do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, anybody need to see?
I've got that.
Got it.
Who made the motion? I'm sorry.
I did.
You do, thank you.
You also might want to specify
Shannon seconded.
I got the second.
payroll journal entry that you're accepting there.
All right, we're currently on number 35. Do we need to add the general ledger here?
No, that would be
I
separate.
think that'll be separate.
Will we need to add it to the agenda?
Oh,
Fair point.
yeah.
Probably we should if we're accepting it.
All right, let's finish with number 35 first. Does anybody have anything here that they would like to ask a question about? I see Ken and then Terry.
I just was wondering what the last entry was about for medical supplies for $13,000.
That's a good question.
Was that the first aid kits and stuff that we approved?
I think so, through the
Santa,
highway.
yeah,
No, this is probably something that Keith ordered because the highway first aid kits weren't that expensive. So if I had to guess, Keith probably put in an order for medical supplies for EMS and the fire department.
That makes more sense.
Is that a one time a year type expense?
Actually-
$1,000?
Well, I'm wondering, because I haven't seen these invoices yet, so I'm wondering if this isn't the AED machines that were ordered. Which is what I'm guessing.
Let me go look in Bonnie's file.
Thank you.
It's the Zoll Medical Corporation, and I'm guessing it's the AED machines that were ordered that were budgeted for last year. They ordered one for the office, the library, and the highway garage. And then I think they got one for one of the ones at the fire station too.
I have
And
seen
they're-
a fire department purchases here, so. I
Yeah,
know
it looks
that
like
would
that's
make
the first
sense.
thing that comes up when I Google Zoll products is the AD.
Yeah,
And-
that's what I'm guessing those are for,
I think you're right.
because they were almost $3,000 a piece.
Okay,
So they ordered.
and Terry, yours was the same question?
Yes, we'll get some.
That invoice isn't in her blue envelope.
All right.
There might be, it might be on my desk in my office. Because she did up a new warrant.
Would we like to move forward, approving, assuming that we are going to confirm that the, $13,282.84 here at the list, we're just gonna confirm that that was for AEDs. So do we have anything else that anybody would like to ask about? All right, all in favor of motion 34 with correction, with,
Warrant 35.
excuse me, yes, warrant 35, with, no corrections.
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Nice.
We're gonna need a motion to, add the town of Georgia general ledger.
Payroll.
Yep. Let's see,
That's the number.
okay, payroll number, geez, 2023, 0303. Would somebody be willing to make a motion to add that to the agenda?
I'll make a motion to add the general ledger payroll ledger, reference number 20230303.
Do we have a second?
Second?
All right, any discussion?
Standard, just so everyone understands, this is
Payroll.
yeah, payroll salaries. Which is, and this is a new thing that we're starting to do as part of the process of getting everything, right? Everyone's eyes
Correct.
on all the financials.
Yep.
Does that have a signature page?
It
don't think so.
might, does
There's
it?
a couple lines there that you can sign if.
Okay.
There's only 2 lines that show
Yeah,
up
so I
on
think
there,
it's
so
Devin, right?
Yeah.
you can make one or.
We can all put our signature there, once we approve it.
Did anyone second?
I did.
Yes,
Okay,
Shannon did.
great.
So, all in favor of the payroll as presented?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Yvonne, is this a closure for 2023?
Yes.
Yes, this is our last payroll.
That sounds very final.
Well, the last payroll of 2023, yes. All right, so here we go. Moving on to unfinished business, and that is number A, the readoption of ordinances. Cheryl, would you be able to educate us or remind us of what ordinances we're bringing back here? You're muted.
We're bringing back the traffic ordinance. The
Okay.
stump dump or the junk ordinance and the animal ordinance, or are we leaving it alone? So those are what we need to decide.
Yeah, ordinance, yeah,
I do have a question about that, though.
sure.
I guess my question was, somebody had commented that state statute already covered what we were talking about. I guess my question would be like, first, why the lawyer wouldn't have pointed that out?
He did.
He did.
So the lawyer pointed out that state statute does largely cover this, but it also, if we wanted to impose a very light fine, that is something that we could do under some pretty old laws.
Okay,
And that would likely have to be something that we would have to do on our end. And so, that is a decision that we have to make
Yeah.
as a municipality.
okay,
Because, and this is full transparency here, we can impose these things. But it basically is a goodwill.
yeah, I guess that
Sort
was
of
my
thing.
other question, was like, is this something that we decide as a board or we vote on as a town?
No, we can decide as a board.
Okay,
We asked
Right.
for all these ordinances.
yeah,
At the last
Right.
meeting, so presumably,
yeah.
have we heard anything on all these ordinances, Cheryl?
No, plus we had the trail ordinance, that was in there. I have not received any emails or anything regarding these ordinances as of today. There's been nothing for input from the public.
Okay,
So what action are we gonna be taking tonight is to
I don't think,
approve or disapprove, so then they can, the appropriate warning for a open meeting is offered to the public, is that true or what?
So now if you approve these tonight, then we go forward with all the postings, and if no one petitions to
Yeah.
have them changed, then they will go through as is, and you will adopt the ordinances that are written out right now.
I don't think at the moment we should be including the animal control ordinance, unless we've decided that.
Well, when we come to that one, we can.
But if you do want to, read a little bit more into that We do have a pretty extensive report from Baraya over at the town, from the town lawyer's office. About the legality of that, and you should be able to find that. If that, I don't believe that was, no, I sent that to you all a couple meetings ago. So you should be able to just search through your email.
Okay, I think I saw it and I think I read through it. I was thinking, I guess my thought was that, that if there was something we could do, even if it's just on paper, that maybe we should think about doing that, because I feel like if there's any steps to do something, that we should, otherwise we're just complacent in it continuing, I guess. Or I just didn't know if there was another way to go about any repercussions for a potentially dangerous situation.
I think the answer to that is the state would prefer us to sit on our hands on these type of issues. And just trust the cattle farmers. There are a few municipalities who have decided to take action.
I guess, yeah.
And
Cheryl.
that would be our choice. Cheryl has something to say?
Yeah, so I just want to make sure everybody's known, because it's come through passive and through legal, that once we put an ordinance in, if we know something's going on and we don't obey that ordinance, then we are liable to a lawsuit versus if there is no ordinance in place. So if we know that we've got an ordinance in for, say the animals and the livestock, and we're told about it and then we don't act upon it, then the town actually becomes liable, because they know of the situation, but they're not doing anything about it. And if we can't enforce it on any of these ordinances, then it becomes a town issue for liability.
So that's the thing that I think Bri really stressed. There are laws that we can use to try to put an ordinance in place. But I don't think our town lawyers feel that they would be laws that would hold up if they were brought to court.
Okay.
Betty?
I'm just wondering what the big problems are in town that we need these ordinances.
I can
Big
yeah,
on from the.
I can fill
state.
you in. Oh, okay, great.
That's why she has no idea.
There is a farm that has, I think they're Black Angus cows, and they're continuously in the road, like every day.
People in.
Yeah, so,
It's on Plains Road.
yeah.
I'm sure it is.
Oh, okay, then, okay.
So I think that people's concern is that the owner knows, and the issue is continued for a long time. And I think people's concern is that it's a potentially really dangerous situation, and that there is nothing they can do, like no matter how many times they call the cops or us, that nothing gets done. And I think that so many people are looking for some kind of solution. And up until this point, we don't have one. And I think that we were just trying to explore the ideas of like, what can we do? What can we do to help friends and neighbors these cows are eating their gardens, or they're in the middle of the road, or if kids are walking or riding their bikes, we don't know.
If they're safe.
Well, this thing
Yeah.
that scares me the most is when I'm driving my kids to school, you turn this corner and all of a sudden there's a cow there, and it wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
Having to sell a cow, a
Yeah.
very good cow,
Yes.
because it wouldn't stay in a
Yeah.
fence. I understand the situation.
Totally,
And,
Yeah.
and Black Angus are
notorious.
infamous for that.
Totally, and I think that that's the hard part, is like, we know, right, like how many of us have owned cows, but at the same time, you're presenting a really tough situation as an owner, and like, in theory, you have responsibility to not only keep your animals safe, but also keep them contained so they don't pose this risk.
So,
The other thing
well,
is,
I would say it's probably time for us to move forward
Yeah.
and move with the
And,
motion.
and we can talk about each of these individually,
That's
but
what
I
I
do
think
think
we
we
should
should make a
Okay.
motion.
But on the
get into
animal
discussion.
ordinance, I move that we.
Oh, don't move on the animal ordinance, because we're just not gonna add it.
Can we
That
start
was
with
my
the
motion.
first one in the packet? Oh.
Oh, okay, what's
My
your motion?
motion was we not try to put the cattle portion of the animal ordinance into our animal ordinance. And we leave the animal ordinance, which is essentially dog ordinance, the way it is.
Okay, before I ask for a second, Cheryl, was the animal control ordinance added in the original group of readopted ordinances?
last week's, or the previous packet, yes, it was. So,
Okay, so that's a
so
motion
it's
that.
in there for,
Not in this packet.
It's not in this packet. So
it's
we
not
don't
in this
really
one. I
need a
wasn't sure
motion
after
to
the
remove.
last meeting what we wanted, if we were going forward or still keeping it in discussion phase.
I think we're still keeping it in discussion, but if it's not in this package, we don't need to remove
Well,
it.
it is in this package.
I don't
but
think
yeah.
it is. It's just the.
No,
junk.
not in,
It's not in this package.
Yeah, it's not.
No.
So why don't we let that motion die? And just put a motion forward to accept the package, to move forward with the package of, ordinances that we have.
Yeah, we should be discussing them one at a time.
Yes.
Oh, wait, stump dump got put in a funny spot.
Okay, do you want to do that?
Sure, I will
All right,
ask,
I withdraw my motion because apparently it wasn't acceptable. So the next motion I make is that we don't adopt the dump ordinance we want to eliminate, correct? Not the dump,
We want-
the stump ordinance, sorry. The
we
stump,
wanted
the stump
we
dump
wanted to-
ordinance.
delete the stump dump ordinance, yes.
Yeah.
okay, so the motion is to delete the stump dump ordinance, that makes me giggle. Do we have a second for that?
I'll second there.
All
What's
right,
the ordinance?
discussion,
What's the ordinance?
it's about stump dumps.
It's about governing the ordinance where we used to put stumps.
Yeah, we don't have one anymore, a place anymore.
So you can't just go and take your stumps and dump them together.
Yeah, dump a stump.
So are you saying that you're deleting the ordinance that's currently in place? Is that what you're saying?
Correct, we do
Yeah.
not have,
Yeah.
have a stump dump.
Yeah. Do you want me to read it to you? It's short.
No, I
Okay,
know.
Okay, great.
You can just delete an ordinance like that?
Uh,
Well, it's gotta go through the same process as adopting one, so
Which we
we've
go
gotta
through the-
make a motion to get rid of it and then go through the proper channels.
Okay, I was gonna say that's awfully easy.
Yeah, no, it's gotta go through all the regular channels. Same thing as adopting one, we're going to do the same thing to get rid of one.
We'll
Okay,
prepare a warning that we will eliminate the stump dump ordinance. How's that? Okay.
I think we've already had a motion and a second,
yes, we did.
and we were in discussion.
Yes, we are.
Are we done discussion?
Yeah.
I guess we are done with discussion.
Okay.
All right, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, let's move on to the next one.
I think the next one would be
So-
the sorry, go ahead.
I will be sending out, a thing for you to sign, for everybody to sign on each one of these ordinances, saying that it's okay to post in the paper. And then we will put them all in the paper, next week.
Sounds good. I believe the next one would be the motor vehicle and traffic regulation ordinance.
Right, and do we have a motion to move that forward?
Will you read that?
No, we want to reapprove that,
Can we
correct?
approve it?
Yes.
Okay, can I get a motion to that extent?
I move we approve the motor vehicle and traffic regulation ordinances with the updated speeds on our town roads.
Do we have a second?
Second?
Okay, discussion. I have Ken, I have Fred. You're first, Ken.
Yeah, I had sent Cheryl an email regarding section 9.
thank you.
Want to get that in front of you? I can tell you what needs to be changed there.
Page 9?
Section 9.
Well, I don't have a section of it, I feel like. I only have 1, 2, and 3 over and over.
I did the copy, you got the copy of mine, I got 9. General provisions,
Yes.
There's 8 and then 12 general provision.
it's only one sentence.
13.
Yeah, I think the challenge too is that we have a section. We have a section up in the upper right-hand corner as well too, but that's the
Oh,
section of the packet as well as the actual section of the ordinance itself.
Oh, Article 9.
Yes.
Okay, Article 9, not Section
Got it.
9, okay.
So in a previous meeting, you folks had deleted the words legal trails from the end of that, section 9, and it hadn't been deleted in this document yet.
Thank you.
I see that,
Yeah.
okay. So will we make that correction? We should make that correction when we approve.
Well, we need to then amend our motion
Yes, we do.
to approve with.
Let's see if we have any more corrections before we move forward with that.
I withdraw the motion to simplify whatever we're gonna do. Okay.
Okay,
I will now remake the motion to approve the motor vehicle and traffic regulation ordinance, including updated speed limits on town roads, with the correction in Article 9 that will again add in or delete the term legal trails at the end of the second sentence.
all right, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Fred, was that your observation as well?
My observation is can you read me the speed limit zones in Georgia?
All right, I think that's up a ways.
All right, from Rock Maple Drive south to 2201 Georgia Shore Road is 25 miles an hour.
Yeah, so Rock Maple Drive is on Bovat Road, so apparently we're patrolling planes. There is no Rock Maple Drive on Georgia Shore.
Okay, what
Was
Or we can just have.
that, were these numbers given to us from the police department?
No, these are the update roads that Todd gave me.
Huh,
Another road that's similar to that, Evan?
Rock Island Road.
That's
Oh,
what they're.
yeah.
Probably why.
Rock
It's
Island?
Rock Island?
Rock Island Road is right where the drink waters live.
Okay. So
All right, do you-
I can change that and just verify it with him tomorrow.
okay,
Do you want the second half? Or it says from 2201 Georgia Shore Road south to the Milton line is 35 miles an hour.
Is there what?
Is 35 miles an hour.
That's correct.
Okay.
Well, I mean, just whatever address they pick, but if you're using a road,
Sorry, yeah, I
you
just-
better be on the road you're driving.
Yeah, you said Georgia Shore Road, so I was just giving you the two that reference Georgia Shore Road.
all right. Do we have any other observations?
Where were we on that motion?
We are in discussion.
Yeah, in other words, I made the motion to make the one change of the legal trails. so
Will we
eliminating
need
that,
to make a change to the motion again? I think so.
but It hasn't been approved, so I guess you could make an amendment because it hasn't been.
I think we should, yeah.
Yeah, we
And
can.
moving forward, we should make motions that are a little more generic, that accept with said corrections.
Well, let's be easy on Carl.
No,
He's
no,
usually
no, no.
volunteers to do most of our
No.
motions.
That isn't a slight at him, I'm just thinking as we get into 3 more ordinances.
All right.
Sorry, can I interrupt this really quick?
Yeah.
V30, can you state your name for the record, please?
They're muted as well.
Maybe they're not supposed to be.
I don't know. We can keep trying to get on that, but yes, it should be noted that we have a person whose attendance we can't verify at the moment. So back where we were.
You want to correct this?
I mean.
Yes, I would say let's make an amendment for any corrections that are net needed once we're done making corrections. So we can just move forward with the meeting.
Okay.
That way, if we have anything else that we need to do, let's get it done with one amendment.
Yep.
To this ordinance.
Yes, exactly.
We have others.
Yeah, all right. So do we have anything else that we see here that should be corrected on the, what is this? This is the traffic ordinance. motor vehicle and traffic regulation ordinance. Do we have
Up
any?
to this point, changes to it with the various changes. One was to eliminate legal trails. The third is to make it, or second, is to make it clear it's, rock maple comes off of
Rock Island.
rock.
Right,
The words,
Rock Island Road.
the word rock maple should be.
Change to Rock Island Road.
Okay, to Rock Island, okay.
but other than that, it looks like we seem to be okay putting this forward to the community.
So do we wanna?
Yeah, motion, yep, motion to amend. Anybody can make a motion to amend.
Okay, I'll make a motion to amend the current motion on the table to approve motor vehicle and traffic regulation ordinances with the following changes.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, so are we ready to move forward and approve the motion as amended? All right, all in favor of the motion as amended?
I have to.
Vote on the
You
amendment
have to.
first.
We did, we just did. Okay, so all in favor of the motion as amended?
Aye.
All right. Okey
So we
dokey,
done with that one.
we are done with that one. We are moving on to,
Junk ordinance.
this is a long, the motor vehicle one's pretty long.
The junk ordinance on page 21.
Thank you. Page 21, the junk ordinance. 23.
I move approval of the junk ordinance as presented to the board. I know the planning commission has already worked on this and they presented it to us at a meeting some months ago. And now we are approving it to go to the voters for their perusal.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Do we have any discussion or observations that people would like to make for the junk ordinance? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, there we go. Moving on to the, what is this?
Traveled on legal roads, which is page 46.
Yeah, I don't either.
Page 46.
Oh, wait.
Oh, is it
Yeah, it's all the
after?
way at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, after, wait, I don't have that, cause I go from 44 to 49.
I have it.
I photocopied my notes and I have it.
Hold on, let me just. make
I'm
sure.
special, oh, I have it, I'm one of the, I'm.
Wait a
one of the
second,
crowd.
wait a second. It was part of the stump dump. I got
Stumped up.
it. Okay,
So it sounds like we need to make a motion.
Yep,
you want me to make a motion?
Go for it.
please do.
Okay, make a motion to accept the, travel on town legal trails ordinance, trails 1, 3, 4, and 5, no trail number 2 lists.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, do we have any observations that folks would like to make? I see that we have a few things highlighted in red here.
These are just the corrections and stuff. that we
Okay.
can see.
Already made,
Thank you.
it's a pretty short one. Not seeing any, what about you, Carl? Do you need some time to go over it?
No.
All right, all in favor of moving this forward?
Aye.
Aye,
I abstain.
okay. The permit to operate a motor vehicle. Oh, wait, that's part of the,
Yeah, those are all the ordinances.
that was it. All right,
Can I make a comment?
yes.
If you go back to the animal ordinance, I think we need to be very careful in the way that you word it. For example, at one point, this town had a $20 permit for any building that wasn't attached that was under 100 square feet. And if you take that into consideration, that means you would have had to get a permit for $20 for a bird house, for a dog house. No, just a minute, for anything else. So if you're gonna do an animal ordinance, is it gonna include a parakeet, a chicken, a cat, a dog?
They are listed.
Yeah,
So they're gonna be listed.
they're all listed on. the
No,
website.
so the discussion we're having about the animal control ordinance is how do we address livestock?
Yeah, we're.
In just
Yeah.
that, it's just about adding something to address livestock, because livestock under the state of Vermont have a lot of protections. And so you are absolutely right, we would have to be very careful
You gotta be
about
very-
how we would
Listed on
add that.
Yeah,
And I think if we decided to move forward with that, we would have to make sure that we worked very closely with our lawyers to make sure that everything is legally traceable. So that the town isn't responsible for.
And that the town doesn't become liable for
Right.
not doing what it's supposed to do, because that could be more
Well,
detrimental.
I think that legally, the safest thing to do would be nothing. But I don't think residents of the town would appreciate that.
the animal ordinance is on the website. And it said, it's listed out the animals. Yeah, thank you.
Yep. All right,
Not all of us live on the website.
That's okay, somebody can print it out for you. If
It's
nobody. in
mostly
your-
about dogs
Yeah.
yeah.
and household.
So we are moving on to board business.
Well, first of all, on the animal control, what are we doing then? I'm trying to.
We are going to decide if we even wanna, if we wanna tackle
Oh, we're
this.
not doing that now.
No, we're not doing that now.
So, is that the way you understood it, Cheryl, or not?
Yeah, so it's just on hold right now. We're not discussing it at this
Okay.
time until,
There are others that are going forward, but not the animal control.
Right.
Should we put
Cor-
that
correct.
on, like unfinished business or
Well,
tabled items?
we
Like-
had that put on the agenda a little while back,
Yeah.
and again, it was. It was pointed out that there's a lot of statutes in place
Mhm.
with the state. That might overlap, so it probably, I don't, we already did the research. So I'm not entirely sure how exactly we want to proceed there. I think I would recommend everybody going through, Mariah's report again. And then we'll decide whether or not we want to bring that back.
You did table it at the last meeting. You said you were gonna discuss it at a,
If we said table, then it's gonna be hard to bring it
no,
back.
not table. You just said,
We'd bring it back,
yes,
okay,
yes, but it was done at the last thing you said.
yeah.
Uh,
So yes, I think for now we should, just. And try to understand the context in which I'm saying this. We'll forget about the animal, the livestock ordinance for now. Just pretend that that's not there, and let's move on with the meeting.
wait, we have a-
Ken has a meeting.
Oh, yeah, Ken.
In the packet, there's a piece from Amcare in the section that has all the ordinances. Is that anything that needs to be addressed?
Yeah, that is not in the correct spot.
Oh,
no,
Is that under?
what happened is when I
unfinished business?
copied it over from the last meeting, it copied that also. Yeah, that can just be tossed.
Okay, so when she
It's the
tried to
answer.
copy it over from the last meeting, sometimes it just gets lost in the software. It
Okay,
doesn't always save right, so that's not even supposed to be in here. so
is it
that's
in the
just-
agenda?
It is.
It is.
Can I have a motion to remove that from the agenda?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
I didn't see where it was.
I know,
Do
I don't
we-
have it on the thing.
What
Yeah,
is it?
it's not on,
It's
it's not on the agenda.
It's not on the agenda, it's
Not a
just in
printed-
the.
Oh, okay, okay,
It's the
okay.
one that we have either online or that was
It's
emailed
not
to
on
us.
the,
But it wasn't on the agenda.
Excuse me, I'm gonna call to order here. Cheryl, my question is it on the agenda that was posted online? The packet that was posted online?
no, there's no Amcare on the agenda.
Not on the packet that's posted online?
I
So
can
you're-
check the packet
It's
online.
two separate things that have two separate.
It's just
Yeah.
because it got forwarded.
It's not on the agenda, but it is included in the packet.
Right, so I understand that, Okay, I see. It's
You guys-
in the packet, but it's not on the agenda, therefore, okay, thank you, I understand.
To be clear, we have members of the community that are pulling it up right now.
Yeah, we've
So-
all said that that's where it is,
But
it's on the
This
packet,
is,
but not on the agenda.
Okay, if it's found online.
if it's not on, if it's included in the packet, that's just information. If it's not on the agenda, we are not legally required to discuss it.
Got it.
So you can withdraw, we can withdraw that motion.
Perfect.
Would somebody be willing to withdraw that motion?
One motion.
I'll
To-
withdraw my motion.
Thank you. All right, so that should be settled. So we are moving on to the town meeting or Australian ballot. And this is a discussion. So for town meeting, I guess the discussion is as simple as that. I know that, there have been folks who have requested that several of the votes that we want to bring to the community, they would prefer to have done through Australian ballot. But in order for us to do anything that is Australian ballot related, we can't have an official town meeting. Also, if we choose to enact the COVID laws and do our votes through Australian ballot, we can't vote on officially adopting Australian ballot for the town, which would mean that for another year, we would have town meetings in place.
Okay. So the idea that we have is to,
The idea would be, I guess, this is just discussion, but if we were to make a motion, it would be to enact the current COVID rules to allow for us to conduct our votes in March through Australian ballot.
Devin, if you
discussion
do that,
the other
you can't
day.
have town meeting.
Yeah,
We're just discussing, but, and I'm just saying that that's what
I think
we would have to do if that's the direction we wanted to go.
I thought go ahead, Carl.
I'm just gonna say, our discussion the other night, or at the budget meeting, I believe it was that in all likelihood, we should go forward with a regular town meeting.
Correct.
And one of the articles at that regular town meeting
Yeah.
Would
will be a floor vote on whether we go to Australian ballots in the future. Right.
And I think that what we discussed at that budget meeting was that we would also, it would be nice if we could switch to a fiscal year budget sooner. But we can also hold off on that vote until the town has switched officially to Australian ballot if the community should decide. And that way, everybody will be able to make that decision together.
Yeah.
Heather, I see your hand there.
I have a couple of questions.
Mhm.
First thing on here, it says to inform public of your decision, so that's what it says in black and white.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the decision,
And second is, at budget meeting, shouldn't it say special meeting if you're not discussing just budget at these meetings?
I do think that this was put there in the minutes, in the agenda, wasn't it?
Actually, I wasn't there, so I don't know.
No,
It was
we
the
didn't.
What?
Because it's kind of a budget discussion because you have to decide what we're doing in order to put
our
these
Yeah,
ballots
it was
going
related
forward.
to
Okay.
something we were doing.
Because
as
it
part of
wasn't
the
on the
budget.
agenda, because I looked back at all the budget agendas and that was not in
But,
there.
it's also
You were
all
looking to
recorded.
budget, ballot clerks, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
Okay.
Betty,
First of all, I'm sick and tired of COVID being used to take away the voice of the people in town. We need a town meeting. If we're going to go to Australian ballot, that should be on a ballot vote to the town people, and they should make that decision. It should not be a decision that's made by this board or a few people in town.
Carl,
go ahead, Carl.
That's exactly
What we're
what
doing.
this is, okay? I make a motion that we,
well, let's not make a motion
No.
yet, we're just discussing.
in other words, what
We're doing exactly what you're asking for.
exactly?
We're going before the town in a town meeting. And during that town meeting, when we do our budget presentation, we are gonna have an article there that article is going to allow the people to vote to go back to, if they want to go back to Australian ballot. If that vote passes, we will do that in the future. It will not happen then. We will, and it's the only way we can actually migrate towards that.
Versus having a town meeting.
No, that would be having the town meeting.
Well, yeah, we would have the,
But
yeah,
in the future,
correct.
right,
In
Right.
the future is what I.
Yeah, but it would allow more people to do it. There's all, it's a frustrating, like, I'm frustrated by it, because I would love to have a town meeting and have
And
everyone
ballot.
vote.
Yeah.
But you can't have both.
Yeah,
They only allow you to have one or the other. Sorry,
Carl.
Yeah, I just want to make it clear, what we're saying is, we're not going by what COVID rules would allow us to do.
We're not.
We're doing that.
We're not.
What we're proposing, well, or what one of us will propose here momentarily, is that we will have a regular town meeting where we'll vote on all the articles of the town meeting. One of those articles will be, in the future, would we do, town articles by Australian ballot?
Right.
All right, so that's what the plan is.
And
And what I'm saying is, COVID is probably gonna be here for the next 50
I know.
years in some form. And I'm tired of people using that as an excuse to do things the way they wanna do it,
well,
with a small number of people making the decision.
Yeah,
well,
that's
rest
why we're
assured,
changing.
rest assured that in the future, that won't be the case, because this is the last year where you can use that rule.
But we're not using that rule.
We're
We're not using that rule. We're not.
The rule is available to us, but we're not using it,
Right, exactly.
Yes.
like we did last year.
Yeah, the goal is to get as many people voting on what we put forward to the community as possible.
Right, and so,
Vote.
No.
You can't have a town meeting just to inform everybody,
You can have a meeting, you can have informational
but you don't
sessions.
vote at that. So we
Correct.
could still have that and have
Correct.
people at least be able to discuss the budget and
Yeah.
have.
The
an idea of
attendance
what-
isn't always as good as a town meeting, but you do have, yes.
Okay.
According to the thing we were gonna vote on tonight, that would be held on the 28th of February.
Oh,
at the
problem-
firehouse.
Oh.
Okay, right.
oh, so it's not the same day as voting and going to vote.
Correct.
The problem with that is it's usually held very close to the thing when all the decisions have been made. And so there's no chance for people to say, no, you're spending too much money. We need to cut back here, or we need to spend some money on something else. There isn't that opportunity when it's just a discussion meeting and.
no, you're right. What Australian ballot does is, while it does make it so almost everybody in town has the opportunity to vote outside of having to show up, not having to show up to a town meeting, you don't have the opportunity to make those on the floor corrections.
Well, I believe the law in Vermont is that they have to give you the day to come to town meeting.
They do. If you're not essential, if you're a non-essential employee and you ask it ahead of time, you are allowed to have the day off.
Yeah,
We just had it, Christina just had her hand up, but I don't know if Hayes next.
Okay. Yes, I think, again, the reason why members of the community were asking that in particular for the fiscal year budget was because not everybody has the opportunity to do that because of childcare issues or other things that keep them from having the ability to show up to a town meeting. So that is something that we will decide at town meeting.
Did Christina have a question?
No, she just said no.
Okay.
Okay, great.
So,
So,
are we ready for a motion?
do we want to make a motion? This is listed in the agenda as a discussion.
But we need to,
Do
No,
we-
it says to inform public of
have
decision.
another hand.
Yeah,
I guess I will reiterate my statement that basically, when you say that you're giving the town, more people in the town the option to vote, all you're giving them is the option to vote up or down. If they go to town meeting, they can change the budget, so you're taking away the ability to change the budget. You're just giving more people the ability to vote up or down.
right, that's what I was
Five
trying to
people
communicate.
here are the ones that, if it turns into Australian ballot, the 5 people here are the only ones that can change anything on the budget. So you're taking it away from everybody else in town to have a collective means of changing the budget other than voting you guys out.
That's what I was trying to communicate.
So we will allow the people to decide. Okay, Carl, do you wanna?
well, if we're willing to entertain this, I think we need this. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Cheryl has something she has to say.
we made a motion on this at the last meeting that we were gonna have regular town meeting day.
Correct.
So it was just kind of informing everybody that this year there will be a regular town meeting to attend. And that
Correct.
everything by by ballot on the floor vote, so that those
Okay.
people that thought that they could have an Australian ballot regarding the fiscal year, like they did last time, will not happen. It's all on the floor vote
Okay.
this year.
So the only thing that we would need is a motion to move forward and inform people.
No, we already made the motion,
don't-
simply informing the community, right?
Right,
So,
we did.
okay,
motion last
so we don't need a
meeting.
motion. We'll just go forward. Carl.
Yeah.
My understanding is why this is in the packet is that we are supposed to approve the town warning. So we
Well,
can get it. the
That's
town-
not town meeting discussion.
Yes.
The warrant,
Just for
The
the,
town warning is item D,
Right.
right, and we can't
is several
approve
one
that.
down, several down.
Well, I would say as far as item A goes, then, everybody here is sufficiently informed.
Clear as mud, right?
Yeah. So let's move on to, item B, which is the town report update. Carl,
again, a question, as in preparation for the town report, do we need to approve this town warning?
It
Cheryl.
is
It's under D.
item D, which is.
That's right, we are under item B, that's what.
we're on item B,
Yeah.
item D.
It is 2 items down for now. We will get to that.
D as in dog.
So we're here, but that's.
Oh, okay.
No worries.
I know you're excited to approve it, don't worry.
All right, so what's our update? I can say that,
Well, go ahead, Cheryl.
Oh.
Or-
So
Cheryl.
I'm still missing quite a few reports, so I'm gonna be reaching out again to everybody tomorrow. To let them know that the deadline still stands as the 12th. Just because that we need time, I have to have it to the printers by the 26th, so we need time to actually put everything together.
Yep,
I've just submitted the select board report to the rest of the board. We will edit it and get it to you, so it should be to you on time. It will definitely be to you on time.
yeah.
Okay.
And I've submitted the budget summary highlights to the group. I sent it to Doug in April as well, just to see if they wanted to add anything as well as the group. Cause we may want to make some tweaks, but I did submit that a few days ago.
Okay.
All right, so hopefully on Wednesday, we will have things wrapped up. Do we have anything else that folks would like to share before we move on to item number C?
Bless you.
All right, so, holidays. Action, approved holiday schedule.
So this is the schedule for 24. To go through and approve it, there is the addition of August 16th, 2024 for Bennington Battle Day. This is in discussions of some of our other personnel policy discussions. So I'm not sure whether you want to approve that now or wait until it's decided on the personnel policy.
Did we get to the holidays already? When looking at.
We were discussing them, but I don't think we made a final
Right.
thing on it.
Phase.
I'm sorry?
I said, we're right at that discussing phase.
Yeah,
I think that it would make sense for you all to have things hashed out with the personnel policy before we move forward.
Yeah, why is this, do we know why this is on?
Can't go forward with any of the other holidays and, well, I guess we can. We'll still act on the old policy, old personnel policy, which then I would just need approval to adopt the same holiday schedule that we've had in the past.
All right, we can make that motion now. Carl?
I just had a couple of questions. One was, down where it says October 14th is Indigenous Peoples' Day. This holiday is observed on Friday, the November 29th. Has that been our policy in the past?
Yeah.
In other words, we do the day after Thanksgiving for that holiday instead of Indigenous Persons' Day, correct?
Well, the way it was written in there is,
Columbus Day.
so we
Correct.
work
I'm sorry, you're coming in
October
broken.
14th.
Okay. Hello?
We work out,
I mean,
hello?
Yeah, we can
Okay,
hear
so
you.
Cheryl,
There has to be quiet
Yes.
before you speak, cause then you get cut in and out. So sorry.
That's okay. So we work on October 14th because of taxes. So what the office does is then we take the day after Thanksgiving off, is the way it's always been done, because we don't close the office during tax time.
Does that affect, is that just for your office staff, but yet the rest of the staff in other departments take it off, or is it townwide?
Like the highway guys will take it off on the 14th. It's just the office staff that does not take that holiday off.
Okay,
Okay, so I guess if the motion then would be to move forward with the holiday schedule as in the current personnel policy. Carl?
yeah, I would say I thought that we were gonna review the holidays while we finish the personnel policy. Because we might want to revisit that to make sure we get it correct in the policy, so it isn't hanging out there. And the other one, I noticed this year we took half a day, Christmas Eve and New Year's Day, and I don't see that, I'm at New Year's Eve. I don't see that on here, New Year's Eve is
That's good.
half a day,
Oh, the 31st?
yeah.
Oh,
So
So I don't know if that's normal or not.
if I
Oh,
understand
this is on
correctly,
Sunday.
Cheryl, are you asking for an action now so that you can move forward? And give people their days off, or do we have time to go through the personnel policy and update that?
Well, normally we give everybody a schedule because the holiday schedules change the days
Yeah.
every year, so people know what they're off. Just for the date wise. So, I mean, we can bring this back to the meeting on the 22nd. If
But
you
probably-
want, with the holidays just from the current policy and have you adopt that.
But it probably would be easier on everybody's sanity if we could make a decision now.
Well, yeah, I just think, I don't know how quickly we're gonna get back to the personnel policy until we are done the budget, so.
so
Just-
maybe we'll do the ones that pertain to.
Yeah, look, I would say we move forward with last year's, cause that, we know that's already set in stone and we can,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, go ahead, Dawn.
That's okay, I can wait. I was just gonna say, you're only approving a one-year schedule.
Yeah,
So if you're talking about changing the personnel policy, it will automatically change to the
Exactly.
next year.
Mhm.
So it might make it easier if you say you approve this schedule with the addition of the December 31st half day on a Tuesday.
but we can't approve the schedule because this also includes a day that isn't currently in our policy,
Oh,
which
okay.
has implications to our union contract.
So then
So
just,
we have to, we would have to approve whatever was approved last year. The same schedule.
Correct.
so that's the addition of the half day and the subtraction
Removal.
of the Bennington.
Correct.
yeah. But, yeah, okay.
That's assuming that half day has been our regular practice, but, okay, all right.
So can I get that motion to approve the holiday schedule as outlined in the current personnel policy?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I assumed that we had plenty of discussion there. All right, moving on to D. We're there.
We're there.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I was thinking that we wanted to decide on this, but
Yes.
I can
We
understand
absolutely do.
further down. So I move that we approve the town warning as presented to us tonight. If that, obviously, there's things that need to be added to this, such as the expenditures for the town operating budget. Okay, so I guess we can't officially approve this, but for everything else on here, it seems that that would be something we could approve and get into the town report.
So approve it with any corrections that are needed.
Yeah,
All right,
Could you read the warning out?
sure.
Yeah, sure. The legal voters of the town of Georgia are hereby warned to meet in town meeting and town school director meeting at the Georgia Elementary School, Georgia, Vermont, on Tuesday, March 5th, 2024, at 10:30 in the forenoon to transact the following business not involving voting by Australian ballot. Said Australian ballot to be from 7:30 in the forenoon until 7 in the afternoon. Article 1, to elect all town officials as required. One town moderator for 1 year, one select board member for 3 years, two select board members for 1 year, one first constable for 1 year, one second constable for 1 year, one library trustee for 3 years, two library trustees for 1 year, one planning commissioner for 4 years, one planning commissioner for 2 years of a 4-year term, and one planning commissioner for a 1 year left of a 4-year term. Article, and those would be by Australian ballot like they traditionally are. Article 2, this would be a floor vote. Shall, it doesn't say that, but I mean, that's what it is. Shall the voters authorize payment of real and personal property taxes on Friday, October 25th, 2024, by delivery to the town hall postmarked on or before this date. Article 3, shall the voters authorize total fund expenditures for operating expenses of, at this point, blank, blank, okay? Article 4, shall the town of Georgia adopt all budget articles by Australian ballot? And that's the article we were talking about, and that will be voted on from the floor. Article 5, shall the voters authorize a $1.3 million bond to repair the Mill River Bridge? The legal voters of the town of Georgia are hereby notified and warned that the select board will hold a public information meeting on Tuesday, February 28th at 7 p.m. at the Georgia Rick Nye Fire Station, Georgia, Vermont, to discuss the foregoing town articles. Voters may visit as the town website for additional details. The legal voters of the town of Georgia are further notified that voter qualification, registration, and absentee voting relative to said annual meeting shall be provided as in chapters 43, 51, and 55 of Title 17 Vermont statutes annotated, adopted and approved at a meeting of the select board of the town of Georgia duly called, notice, and held on January 8, 2024. And then as the names of the select board members, et cetera, et cetera. That's it.
All right, so the motion is to accept that with the amendments that are needed, because obviously we need the numbers for the budget.
So the motion
Right.
or the article on the Mill River Bridge, that didn't specify whether it's on Mill River Road or on River Road. So I suggest that maybe the motion should have in parentheses.
Shore one, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not the Georgia Shore one. It is the Mill River.
It is the
Bridge.
Mill River one?
Well, then it should say on Mill River Road.
It's the Rug Brook
Right.
on
Okay.
Mill River Road.
Okay. All right, so should we make
So-
that,
No, I think that if we're gonna make the motion with any corrections that are needed, that includes that correction.
Cheryl has a comment.
Yep, Cheryl?
So I just had a couple of corrections, Carl. So it's at 10 o'clock, not 10:30, at 7 o'clock and in the forenoon and 7, not 7:30. October 15th, not
Correct.
October 25th for the ballot. And I just need you guys to look this over just to give me approval without the budget numbers to go ahead to send this to the attorney for review so that I have it back in time. So that's, we don't need a motion.
To approve
I
this.
have him review it, and then once I get it back from him, then you guys can make a motion to approve it. But I just want the approval to send this to the attorney, make sure this is what you want in here, and get his approval and his okay, and then I'll bring it back to the board for formal approval to post.
I withdraw my motion.
Okay, do we need a motion to send it to the attorney? Or are we just able to go thumbs up?
I don't, do we need a motion? I don't think we need a motion to send this up to the attorney, so I think you're good to go with our said changes. I do think there was a member from the community that did point out that we should specify what bridge, is it Rug Brook?
Rug Brook.
Rug Brook?
So Rug Brook Bridge,
Is
Yeah,
it
on Mill River
How does it
Road.
specify? Rug Brook at,
On River Road.
Rug Brook on Mill River Road?
Rug Brook Bridge.
There you
Rug
go.
Brook,
How much alliteration today?
Mill River
I got
Road.
it, I got you.
Over the Rug Brook on Mill River Road.
It's like stump dump.
okay, I will make those.
Corrections of how I misread some things.
Yeah.
Okay.
We seriously need
Living
to
in
turn this
Carl
into a
time.
children's book. Jackson would love it.
I think the verbiage in the opening paragraph is not clear.
Okay,
So that's normally what comes from the attorneys, Ken. I just kind of send what we want in it and then puts all the legal wording in there.
I know, but you have to say what you're voting, you have to say what you're voting for by Australian ballot. And it doesn't say that anywhere.
So this is a copy of the warning from 2021 that the attorney had.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
I mean, normally positions are done by Australian ballot. I don't know if that might be just taken as a given, but we can confirm with the attorney.
The school
Yeah,
budget.
the attorney, as he sees,
Sorry, Cheryl, I see your hand.
I said the attorney will change it as he sees fit. That's why we send it to him.
Okay. All right, so that approval is made. So let's move on to the reports. And let's move through this as needed. Cheryl, do you have anything that you need to report, or are you good?
You have to do E and F.
Yeah, you added fire and file.
Oh, we did. Yes, I'm sorry. We have E and F. We have E and F before we move on. So the hiring of a position for the fire department. Do we have any questions or a motion that folks would like to make? I imagine that's here.
It's just a regular volunteer title.
Is that one?
Cheryl, do you have any information about it?
That's what it is.
Okay. Never mind.
I didn't see it in the packet, so.
Well, no, this is added, so
Right.
we're all seeing this with fresh eyes.
Can I just, you talked about going from a calendar year to a fiscal year budget.
Mhm.
Should at some point in preparation for maybe doing that later on, certainly not the year when we've got a 15% rise in the state, but go to collecting taxes twice a year to get people in the frame of mind that it's not always October 15th? Would that be a way of kind of preparing people for a move that might be made later on that might be beneficial to the town?
Not sure the legality of that at this point in time. Are we locked into a certain tax?
Well, you can do it in town meeting, because every year somebody gets up and says, can we pay it twice a year instead of once a year? So it's something that could be voted on at town meeting, but I wondered if that should be something you wanted to encourage if you're thinking about going to a different one.
On this question, could we ask an opinion from our treasurer?
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at her.
I believe that legally you have to vote whether or not you want your taxes collected once a year and twice a year. Because that was part of the change from the calendar year to a fiscal year. Would have been a change in there, having it twice a year. That is a great idea though.
It's always brought up at town meetings, so I think legally, the lawyer can tell you, but I'm pretty sure legally the possibility could be done. Now, whether whether I wanna do it or not, I'm just thinking, if you're thinking about going to a fiscal year instead of a calendar year, so that you don't have to borrow money at high expenses, that might be a good lead-in way to get people thinking about it. And then if you decide to do it, and it's gonna be more money, it's gonna be not one huge sum of more money, but it's gonna be in two separate little parts, which doesn't seem quite as bad to a lot of people.
Yeah, the problem
Volunteer.
either way, is gonna be that you're gonna be at. The only way it would really work is you wanna get some of that money earlier, okay? So, in other words, it'd probably be February and October or something like that. So,
So
anyway, I mean, it's a good suggestion. I like the suggestion, but I don't know how palatable it would be, because you're gonna ask people
Well,
for money earlier than they currently.
I've been thinking over this problem and how you might do it, and you're talking about a 6-month period. Could you do it over 6 years and add in an extra month each year? Type of thing to get where you wanted to go, so that it doesn't bite into people's budget quite as, hard as it would if you were doing it. It seems to me that you could get out of the straight box and think of ways that you might be able to do it that would be more palatable to the taxpayers than trying to do a 6 month lump sum.
I think that might be something interesting to discuss at town meeting day.
Yep.
But let's get back to the issue at hand. All in favor of approving the application of the volunteer fire
We
department?
need to make
We need
a motion for it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the hire of the,
Should we say the person's name? Is that something we should do in another meeting?
do we?
Should
I
I
just-
just say the person's name?
I mean, we're approving
Yeah.
the hiring
Okay.
of the application,
She said, yeah.
okay, for Cameron LaFond, who is going to be a volunteer firefighter.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Moving on to the next item, trying to remember what that was.
File cabinet.
Oh, yes, purchasing of file cabinets from the state surplus. Do we need any extra information about that, Cheryl?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
How big's the
I
filing,
need
how
information.
expensive is the file cabinet?
Cheryl,
Oh, you're muted.
still muted.
How happy would Chris have been with that button? You.
Brutal.
Sorry,
Um,
meeting.
Need some fireproof filing cabinets to continue our filing downstairs for research files that we have to put in, and they have to be in fireproof filing cabinets. We try to keep watch for when these come available through the state surplus, as they're very expensive. So the state surplus has 2 right now that came in, and we're gonna need one. The one in the treasurer's office is all falling apart. The insides are crumbling out. And at the end of the year, we'll need another one for the zoning files for the research downstairs. They have 2, one is $450 and one is $350. The one for $450 normally sells for around $5,000, and the one for $350 sells around $1,500.
We
So
have,
I just, and that can come actually impact fees, for
Okay.
that we still have plenty of money in there to use, to purchase these. So right now, they don't get them in very often, so, and it's a really good savings right now.
How would we collect them? Where do we have to pick them up from?
So we'd have to go to Waterbury to get them. I'd have to set up a thing with the highway guys to go down and pick them up.
I move we approve the purchase of these fireproof cabinets as outlined by our administrator. I see the treasurer shaking her head that it can't be covered within the
Yep.
budget.
all right,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right, now we can move on to our reports. Cheryl, do you have anything that you would like to, add tonight, or are you good?
No, I think we're good.
All right, what about you, April? Anything to add, or are you good? All right, do we have anything from buildings? Good. Budget and finance,
Working on the budget still,
Yeah.
getting to the finish line.
personnel,
I don't know where this one falls, but I did give, Dawn to type up a response to the issue on trail number 4 and the fill. Okay, so, when that gets done, I'll review it and I'll probably bring it to our next meeting for Devin to sign if you guys all.
all right,
Yeah, if they're done typing it, if they would share it with us, just so it gives us a
Yeah.
chance to read it, that would be great.
All right.
Just because that's typically how we
I'm trying
like
to find a name of who I should send it to. Right now, it said to whom it may concern, that paragraph.
Sure.
public works grounds. Good, all right. I guess you and I currently have a committee, and as I reported under the chairman update, we plan on having something to present on the 22nd. So with that being said, do we have anything else that folks would like to report?
I just have a question. Last year, there was a standalone article to authorize the expenditure of $90,000. Inclusive of costs and benefits for a full year to be raised by taxes for the town to hire a full-time EMT firefighter.
Mhm.
And my question is, in your budget building process, has that been integrated into the budget that you're building?
Yeah, I believe we hired that person.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
the person, that article approved up to $90,000. So when they found the person and they hired the person, you had up to $90,000 to spend on this one person. Seeing as how he was hired well into the year, we didn't need the $90,000, but this year he is being budgeted appropriately
Yeah.
for a whole year.
And that is part of the,
Part of the process.
fire,
So
fire.
a portion of that money is still available for that position. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not really how.
It said up to, okay? So we didn't need the up to, and when we went through, with Amber, I went through and we figured out how much this person was gonna cost with their social security and whatever benefits that were available for this person. It wasn't $90,000.
No, but the voters authorized $90,000.
He's asking, is the extra money sitting around or was it reappropriated, I think?
It's in the general fund.
Fred?
My question spinning off on that is, my understanding when that bond or article was there, it was going to be a review of it and a kind of report back on how the position went and, what the value of it was. Is that still gonna happen, or is it just it got rolled into the budget and it's forever gonna be there without knowing whether it's value add or not?
Well, I think that would be a question best left to, Keith.
Yeah.
The first.
Well, I guess my question is he gonna be on the spot saying, I don't have all those data, or is it gonna be something he's gonna be prepared to answer?
We can definitely, tell him that would be a question that he should become prepared for. Though I don't think he has to show up at town meeting day. So that would be,
Maybe you could
maybe in
email
his
them?
report, maybe email him.
Yeah.
So so I have a full understanding about the 90K. The tax rate was set,
Not with the
In-
90K.
including the 90K, the tax rate.
No,
Yes, it was.
no, it was not.
Should have, it had to have been.
It was not. I can show you that it wasn't and would be happy to do so because the budget that you approved on town meeting day, okay, had a number in there up to $90,000 to be collected by taxes. Your tax rate is not set until you get all the information from the state, from the school. And then it was set. So it included the numbers that it should have, and if you want, I can show it to you, I can pull it and show it to you. That it wasn't $90,000 that was put in there.
All right.
Can I just,
Carl,
just following up on what you said, something about, you said you and Shannon and that committee are gonna meet at some point?
we are the
board?
committee. Oh, yeah, we
Yeah,
plan on
school
meeting with the
board.
school board.
Yeah, so have you had that meeting or?
No, they
They
have,
haven't
yeah,
responded.
responded to our request to meet.
Okay. That will be warned.
If they respond to us, it will be, otherwise, we're probably just gonna have to put something together. And so, but we can warn that as well.
Thank you.
All right,
So one additional question, the position for this year, is it funded at $90,000?
I don't think it's that high.
No, it's not.
And Cheryl's ready.
Now Cheryl has a question.
Cheryl? Yeah,
So, Carl came in, the other day to get something notarized. And he had mentioned that you guys wanted to set up a meeting regarding the DEI statement. And the statement that they used is just the one off the VLCT website. He's just the generic DEI statement. That's the only one that they actually used.
all right, then if we can't meet with the school board, we'll schedule a call with BLCT.
Okay.
All right, so let's,
I'm sorry, I didn't get an answer to my question.
Oh, we can find out if she can email you his
Well,
rate of pay.
I thought do you want the exact
He
rate?
wants to know, how much.
So
they-
when you look at your budget this year, it's gonna be a little different, because it's gonna have the recommendations in there for the costs of, and I am answering your question in a very roundabout way, but I'm answering your question. It's gonna have, like, under the highway department, it always just had highway salaries. But it has been recommended by the auditor that we put in there the cost of the social security, the cost of any benefits associated with the personnel in that department. So you're gonna see a difference this year in the fire department. You're gonna see a difference between having 3/4 of a person. I think he was hired July.
So half a person.
So it's probably half of a person that you're gonna see that went into the tax rate for the taxes that you paid in October. And then this year, it's gonna be budgeted and you will pass it at town meeting, the budget with him in there as an entire person.
So you're saying we paid for half a person
Yes,
because of when he was hired?
yes. And they took that into account when they had presented that article to y'all, because it said up to $90,000.
Well, last year, the 2023 budget showed $65,000 for fire and rescue salary.
Mm-hmm. And then the article that was in there was a separate article,
Right.
and it said up to $90,000
So
for this additional person.
I'm
So
gonna
when we
say,
figured the tax rate, we figured it at everything that was passed in the budget with this article, and we went through and we figured out the social security and how much this person was gonna cost. And went through it with Keith and with Amber, and we came up with a number that we added to the budget that's
Right,
in it.
I'm saying.
so I'm gonna chime in. And, is this pertaining to the EMS position? Cause if it is, I'm going to say that I think the question was answered, it was quite asked and answered. If you'd like to pursue this discussion, please do it. You can do it outside of our meeting. But I would like to move us forward with the agenda. Cheryl, is this, in relation to the EMS?
No, I just have one update on the town report
Okay.
that I mentioned that I'd like to mention. Just when you see the town report this year, marriages, births and deaths, normally we list out everyone's name. Due to privacy, this year we are only putting in numbers in the town report and not actual names. So
Okay,
that will be different on the town report this year.
okay, thank you. All right, so, our next budget meeting will be on the 10th. And our next regular meeting will be on the 22nd. We have a few items under executive session. And so thank you, everybody, for participating in your local government this evening.
I move we go into executive session, discuss issues which premature disclosure may be detrimental to the board itself and or the individuals.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
And the
As I
vote,
further move, we go into executive session with the board and our administrators to discuss personnel, holiday pay, EMS contract, and American Power issue.
And you were here to add up. And you were gonna add a personnel issue on top of that.
Yep.
And additional personnel.
Thank you.
all right,
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right,
The budget,
Thank you, right.
so say the budget was $2 million, you figure the budget, and then you figure your tax rate.
Right on my desk, or it's even better.
How much this other person.
And then if I have enough, say that's.
So there is no extra money.
Right.
If you know it.
He's thinking was, we had a budget in there that you passed,
Yes.
and then they added the 9,000.
Can I ask, why is American
Well,
Tower in
that's-
executive
that's what's
session?
going through his mind.
Thank you. What is it?
Why is